Welcome to the Niall Files. My name's Niall, and this is STARCAST, Star Wars Lookit. All right, everybody, how you doing? So today we are taking a trip up to Vancouver, Washington for the Vancouver Toy Junkies Toy Show. It's supposed to have maybe a couple hundred vendors. It's at the Old Red Lion up there, so it's a pretty big venue, and there should be lots of Star Wars toys up there, which is what we're going for. They will have, I guess, some other vintage toys, a lot of record vendors, if I understand right. So this will be my first toy fair, so I kind of don't know what to expect. We will kind of see when we get there. But meanwhile, we've got a little bit of driving to do, so let's get to it. All right, everybody. Well, we are here out in the parking lot. It does not look too out of control, so this could be good news. We will go inside and check some things out. With the first unload of stuff, we got quite a bit. My bag's a little overflowing right now, so we're gonna empty it. Right, we'll go through what I got a little later, but we're gonna empty it and head back in. All right, so this is dump number 2 that we're dropping off here, and just some more great finds. We're going to go through each one of these individual later, but for now I'm going to go ahead and dump this stuff, and we're going to go back in for round 3. We got so much stuff out here in Vancouver. We will have quite a time going through all of it later on, but for now let's head back across the river. All right, I am just getting back, and wow, what a show that was. Couldn't believe the amount of stuff there. I can't wait to look at the stuff I got. There is a lot. And I couldn't believe how much not only Star Wars stuff there was there, but all kinds of other stuff. There were things from records to board games to frisbees to just everything there. In fact, there's probably more non-Star Wars stuff than Star Wars stuff. But you know what we went there for, which was just Star Wars. There's a lot to look through. So we're just going to sort of do a general overview of all the things that I've got. And I'm not really going to get into, how much I spent on everything, but I just will say that everything was shockingly inexpensive. Like really good wholesale, if that, right? And so and there were kind of two different things there. There was, some of the kind of common and some rare stuff for those wholesale prices. And then there's some real A-list stuff there for kind of going rate prices, right? Not top dollar, but going rate, fair prices, and stuff that you don't see very often. So it was that kind of show, right? There was some really good stuff there. Laserdiscs, Star Wars Laserdiscs, not only individually, but they had the box sets there. I didn't bite, but it was rough. But what a great show. A lot of stuff to look through. So let's just get into it, right? A lot of box figures. We are going to start with Chancellor Palpatine, right? I love any of these figures before he was officially the Emperor and everything. This is a great figure. I know it's a statue figure. There's not a lot of articulation, but I love the way his hands are folded, and they do even come apart, so you can kind of get him in maybe some pre-lightning phase. Well, he could probably do lightning at that point, I'm sure, but really like this figure. Looks good. He'll go great in some Senate poses. Happy to have it. Let's see. All right, so this is one I don't even know the name of it. This is from episode 2, the bar scene with the death sticks, and there's a little part of me that might do some dioramas around that. I'm not real sure, so I picked this up because it was, it was hard to pass on, and I just want to. I'll sit with it for a little bit. I'll see if I get the bug, and if it's something I might want to do. We'll see. Let's see, what else did we get here? Okay, this is a good one. Ara Singh. I've been looking for this one for quite a while, but not this particular one. This is probably my second to least favorite version of this figure they did in 3 3/4. There is one that I'm looking for that I think came in the vintage collection, if I'm not wrong, and comes with a briefcase of lightsabers from Jedi bounties that she's collected. But this one looks pretty good in the figure and or in the box, and so I'm happy to have it. I'll keep it on the pegs, and it'll look good. I'm a big fan of the character, so it's a good start. Again, it's not the one I'm exactly looking for, but again, too good to pass up. So happy to have that. Okay, so Jar Jar. I'm not embarrassed. In fact, there's a lot about episode 1 that we'll talk about in another time, but yeah, I'm picking up some Jar Jars, and this is one I couldn't pass up. He's got his tongue out, for crying out loud, and with the pit droid and everything, I don't think it's articulated at all. I think that's it. What you see is what it does. So, but that's fine. I've got some others, so that'll go good with those and make some great scenes. Happy to have it. This is Saab. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but one of the Jedi, or one of the Queen's decoys, maybe? No, not a decoy. One of the Queen's guards. The Queen's decoy, that's what it says. So happy to have that. I'll make some Naboo scenes, again, going back to episode 1. You'll see sort of a theme taking shape with that, so there's that. Happy to have it. Okay, so this is one. This is Foden Bead. I had been looking for this one for quite a while, and I was really excited to find it. Not only that, but for in the situation that I found it at the show, it was a great place to find it. It was a great way to find it. In fact, it might take me a minute. But it was such a good thing. I picked up 2 of them. One to keep in the box and one to open, because I definitely am going to have one open. I've got most of the pod racers, so I've got a diorama coming up. I've got a couple of pods. So, yeah, you could see what's coming. But this was a must-have, and got 2 of them, one to keep on the pegs and one to open up. So we'll definitely be reviewing one of those boxes pretty soon. That'll be fun. Got me a Phase 1 clone trooper. I'm doing a little bit of troop building, not anything big, but enough. I want to do some scenes. I've got some good vehicles that this will go with that we'll look at another time. But I'll pick these up whenever I come across them if the price is right. And so happy to have it. I got a Sebulba. Again, going back to the pod racing scene and putting some things together. There's another place I want to put Sebulba, and that's in Jabba's palace. And so was happy to find this, because it will definitely help to get to those goals. So happy to have it. Another set that I'm trying to complete in full is the Jabba Palace, and this is a Monomon. Really happy to find this one. In fact, really kind of surprised to find it, because I don't see this one in the wild very often. And just great. Puts me another step closer to getting that Jabba scene done. And happy to have it. Let's see what else. Okay, I got this Chewie. I got that Chewie because it came with a great chess table, and I thought maybe that chess table could go into my Millennium Falcon to do some good photos with that. If nothing else, that Chewie, of course, will look great sitting in there, smug as can be. So was happy to find this one. It'll make some great shots. Okay, I got a couple of Jedi kids. What do we got? Ashla and Jempa. couple of little Jedis. I may have a Darth Vader pre-Mustafar figure, and I'm thinking about maybe possibly doing a diorama where maybe Darth Vader's killing some kids. You know, I'm just saying that could happen. That did happen. So, speaking of the man, here he is himself, Darth Vader, all burnt up there. So, really happy to have this one. I've got another one of Darth Vader in before Mustafar, or before he's burnt up at least, and it came in the vintage collection, and it just is too pretty to open. So I was happy to find this one because I will open it, and we will put him on a little floaty thing on some lava, and maybe have him cutting up some kids, and it'll be great. Okay, so this is Lama Su, and not Boba Fett. It's just a clone kid. Lama Su, one of the cloners. Happy to have it. I have the other one, Ton Wee, I think the other one's name is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And this will go great with that and look good because they're doing their thing. Happy to have it. Battle droid. Picked up another battle droid. Again, just kind of can't have enough of these, and when the price is right, I'll pick them up, and there it is, another one, and we'll definitely be ruining this box in another video. Can't wait to do that. Okay, so one of the things I'll get into here is these really stylized Cartoon Network figures from the animated series, the very first one. I'm not a big fan of the stylized Star Wars figures, with the exception of those Disney Infinity ones I really like, and these I'm starting to really like. I have to admit that Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of my least favorites, but it's not terrible, but the ones that I do like, I really like, and this almost completes my collection, and so when that happens, we'll definitely do a look on those. But I got me Obi-Wan there, got a Mace Windu. That one's pretty good. I actually really like the style of this one. It's a good looking figure, but this one's real good. Count Dooku, right? Still not my favorite, but it's definitely up there, and we'll take a look at some of my favorites and the other ones in another video, like I said. But really happy to find these again, just for great price. So happy to have them. Okay, this heavy hunk of plastic is a Fontmon. So a Fontmon, right? I mean, I get it, Hasbro. Sometimes you got to come up with your own names for things, but just take a minute, right? Just take a minute. A Fontmon, really? I mean, just take an extra minute and do something. But what a figure it is. It is heavy, as you can tell by it not being able to stay on the stand here, but it is a solid piece of plastic. Now, I would have expected it to be hollow maybe, or some kind of rubbery thing, but it is a solid hunk of plastic. I don't know why they did that, but wow. Happy to have it. Puts me one step closer to that Jabba scene. I'm getting really close now with this. In fact, it's only the more expensive ones that I need to get, which I'm not looking forward to, but this was a good find, and happy to have it. So there we go with that. I don't want to hurt any of those other figures dropping this one. What else do we got in the car? Okay, so this is another Doug. Again, you know, one for the pod racing scene and one for the Java scene, but I have to admit the only reason why I got this one is because I think I forgot that I had gotten the other one. Things were happening so fast there, and it was sort of first come, first serve, and there wasn't a lot of some of these things, so, yeah, well. Okay, so this is a Gungan Warrior. I really like this one. Again, I'm a big fan of that battle. We'll talk more about that another time. But Gungan Warrior, happy to have this one. He comes with the shield, which I really like. I think that's a cool accessory. And he's ready to go, so bam. That is about it for the carded figures, it looks like. I did get some loosies here. So I've got the Ewok playset. I got it, but it was missing the rails, the little fire pit, and some other things. So I've been putting that together, and one of the things that was on my list to get was this C-3PO in his little floaty magic chair. So happy to find this. I don't know if it's all there. I haven't opened it. We will look at that a little closer another time and put it together and see if it's all there, but happy to have it. I got a Grievous that is loose with all 4 of his arms. That was sort of the thing I was looking for. I've got one that's open that's has one of his arms busted off. All the other ones I have are carded, and I'm not really looking to open any of them because I only have one of each of them. We'll do a Grievous look at another time, but for now I was really happy to find a good loose forearm Grievous that I can put on display and having him kick some butt. Okay, this one I'm not exactly sure the name of it. I think it may be the Tri-Droid or something. I think it's a Trade Federation weapon, and I don't know if this one is to scale. The one that I'm recalling is like really big, right? And so I don't know if they have big ones and small ones. They may have. But again, I hope all the pieces are there. Looks like it. And we will do, we'll put this together and look at it closer another time. Okay, so I got the Jango Fett with the magnet head that pops off, which I can't wait to put Mace Windu to work on this guy. That'll make for some great scenes. It'll be a lot of fun. So speaking of that Ewok village, I got this set, which looks like a bunch of the rails and some of the stuff that I would need to put my set together. So we'll look at my set another time and open this up and see what's there. Even just this is a great find, so I'm happy to have this. All right, so my 12-inch collection, you can see a lot of it behind me. I'm about to do some videos on it. I think I'm pretty much done with my 12-inch collecting. We'll get into more of that when I do some videos around that. But at the show, I kept walking by this one. It was on my list when I was hunting down 12-inch ones, and I didn't see it in the wild, and it remained on my list. And I kept walking by it at the show, and it kept staying there. And almost every time I walked by, the dollar was getting knocked off. And so by the end of the show, I really couldn't pass it up. And so I hate to admit it, that I added one more to my 12-inch collection. He's loose in the box, so let me see here if I can. Give me a minute. Oh, I think, okay, good enough. All right, it's Yoda. It's Yoda in the 12-inch scale, and it's a great figure. I think it may be a little underscaled. We'll have to kind of look at it a little closer and stuff, but it looks great, and I couldn't pass it up. I kept walking by it, so there we go. It's 12-inch Yoda. I've got it. It'll go with my other 12 inches, and there it is. So that is just about what... Oh, right, some Ewok wings, right, to go with the Ewok set. Happy to have those. So that was just about, I think, everything we got, with the exception of a couple of things. One is going to be this Power of the Force X-Wing. It's one of the large-scale X-Wings with the electronic sounds. And I will say, when we're going to do another look at on this another time. We are definitely going to look at this a little closer another time, because let's just say this is how I bought it. Okay, so what you see is exactly how I bought it. All the packaging inside is gone. It's clearly been opened. The vendor told me it was all there. We'll talk more about that later, but this was one of the things I got. One of the other things I got was, it'll be kind of hard to see on that camera there, is this great McQuarrie book. It's just absolutely full of some of his art that wasn't even in the art of books. And what's great is it goes through each location, right? So every planet, every location is in here just for the original trilogy. But just a great book. And, you know, I paid for it out with the change in my pocket. So it was just... I couldn't pass it up. Just some great stuff in there. We'll look at this definitely closer another time. All right, so I think the last thing, so this was the only thing that I may have overpaid for a little bit, especially now that I've got it home and looked at it, because it was impulsive, and it was another thing I kept walking by all day, and he kept lowering it every time I walked by, and finally got it to a price where I said okay, and I said, does everything work? You know, do the wings stay on? And he said yes. It's a vintage TIE fighter. And sure enough, the wings do stay on, but that's really about it. I don't think anything else on this does stay on. It is all there. It's all loose and sort of falling apart. It's really discolored. The stickers are coming off. I can't say it's the best TIE fighter at all. But you know what I think it will do really well is probably blow up nice. That will be fun. But really, that's about everything, I think. A big thank you again to the Vancouver Toy Junkies for putting on a great show. I can't wait to go back. And I think that's about it. So, bye.